First of all, give me a sense of what the next 12 months will bring. What's your biggest risk and how do you plan to mitigate it?
Well, the biggest impact on our result is, of course, the fact that we are running our operations in Brazil at 50% capacity after the embargo that was introduced in March last year. Fortunately, we have now got documentation from the environmental authorities that we can run our operations safely, also from independent universities in Brazil, stating that we can operate safely at full speed, but it's now up to the judge to decide. So that is one big uncertainty when that is going to happen, when the judge will open up for full production in Brazil. Beside that, there are some uncertainties in the market due to trade and also the development of the macroeconomic situation. So we see that there are also some softening of demand in some of our markets. But overall, the aluminium market is in a deficit. We ended up 2018 with 2 million tons deficit on the global demand-supply balance.
Mr. Brandtzaeg, are you expecting trade disputes affecting your plans to continue? And are you expecting trade disputes to escalate?
Well, that is something we are concerned about. We know there is import duty in the U.S. that has impacted the ingot premiums in the U.S. market and seems to be now have to be paid by the end users in the U.S. market. We still see that there are healthy growth domestically in the U.S. and also healthy growth in Europe. We see some competition from China, and again, it depends now what happens next with regard to trade.
How can you actually restore investor confidence? Your stock sold off quite a bit. Are you concerned that investors won't stick with you? And what can you do to reverse that fortune?
Well, I think the investors are concerned about the Brazilian situation and the impact on the economy of the company. And that's why we are working day and night and cooperate with authorities so we could come back to full speed as soon as possible. So that is one of the first priorities for us. Beside that, we continue with our improvements. We continue to develop our position among the customers. We have a long value chain from energy, raw materials, metal production, and downstream business. So we have a wide range of markets where we see also positive development.
You mentioned a potential for softening demand growth again. Can you take any precautions to avoid that?
Well, we have a very strong market position and good relationship with the customers, but we see, for example, in the U.S. market that we expect automotive transport in extrusion will be lower demand this year because it was extremely high demand in this market last year. We also saw last year there was very strong demand, 6-7% growth in the building and construction market in aluminium in the U.S. last year. We expect that also to come down to more normal levels. So I wouldn't say that there are weak markets, but I think we are back to more normal demand in some of the market segments that we saw had a very high demand last year.